Hello everyone and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz, and today we're going to be doing a garage review of this thing, the Krupp-38D, which is a tier 5 German medium tank, and it's a very good medium tank, I do have to say. I am very much been enjoying playing in the Krupp. Exactly why? Well, let's have a look, shall we? So, starting off, it does have 742 HP, which I have got improved assembly on there. If I take that off, it will go to 700 HP, which is not too bad. The Hydrostat has got 795. If we were to take that off, I think it goes down to... oh no, it goes down to about 750. The Ram 2 has got 750. The Easy 4 has got 720, so actually it doesn't really have as much HP as I thought it did. That's the Angry Connor, that's something totally different. I was going for this, the Shinobi, which has got 720. So, health, yeah, okay, it doesn't quite have that. Type T34 has got 721, if we were to take that off it goes to... yeah, 680 for the Type T34, and just one last one. Y5 has got 700 as well, so it's not the worst in terms of HP. However, oh, this thing's got... was this added recently or something? I don't know, I'm not going to research it now. This thing's got 721 as well. Take that off, goes down to about 680 as well. So yeah, it doesn't have the most HP. It's in the lower, probably lower half at least, in terms of mediums at tier 5 in terms of HP, but it doesn't quite have the least amount of HP. That is between, you know, the T34 and the Y5. The hull, however, 80 frontal turret, 30 side and rear for the turret, 80 frontal hull, 35 side, 15 rear. Yeah, side and rear, terrible. Yeah, no surprise there. Side and rears of tanks at this tier are generally not that great. But the front, however, 80 frontal turret, but most importantly 80 frontal hull, and look at that sloping. That is very, very good sloping. The lower glacis is of course the same old weak spot, but the frontal upper glacis is very, very good. In comparison to something like a Panzer IV-G, which has got a 75 frontal turret, and it does have a 95 frontal hull, but that 95 frontal hull is literally just at this part here, and it is mostly flat, as you can see. There is some slight sloping on it, but even so, yeah, it's 95, but it's 95, that's your lot. The Krupp has probably got at least 100 mil of effective armour on that slope, which means it's actually got better frontal armour than a KV-1. Because a KV-1 has got 75 frontal hull. And whilst it is sloped, it's not sloped at as much of an angle as the Krupp does. So the Krupp has actually got a far better frontal armour profile. Plus the sides are partly sloped as well. Again, side, it's only 35, you're not really going to bounce things on that, but the front is really where you're looking. And also the front of the turret as well, which is surprisingly pretty good as well. In comparison to something like the Easy 4, the Easy 4 has got a 76 frontal turret and a 64 frontal hull. And whilst it is sloped, you know, it has got a partly rounded turret, it's still not quite 80 frontal turret armour, and the turret is slightly sloped, so you're getting about, let's call it 85 mil of effective armour. But yeah, the armour profile on this thing frontally is very, very good. It's very good hull down, and it's very good at people who just sort of auto aim and don't take the time to carefully aim their shots. You will easily bounce shots off of this thing. Especially useful against tier 4s as well, because tier 4s tend to bounce off you as well, especially at medium ranges, which is where your battles will mostly be taking place. At medium range, this thing against tier 4s and even some other tier 5s that don't have that great penetration, such as a T14 or an Easy 4, things like that, that don't have the greatest penetration of their tier. Yeah, this thing is very good at bouncing. And so yeah, the armour is just very good. View range 264, yeah. Mobility, however, very good. 33 average speed, kilometers an hour, 17.1 power to weight ratio, 45.89 degrees per second turret traverse, and a 39.43 hull traverse with a 315 horsepower engine. It's pretty mobile. it is pretty mobile in comparison to something like a Panzer IV-G, which has got the same average speed but a worse power to weight, and it's got about the same turret and slightly better hull traverse, but it does have nearly 100 extra horsepower from its Maybach. If we have a look at something like the Y5, Y5 has got 36 and 19, so it's not as good as the Y5, which is yeah, great mobility. Something like a Type T-34, yeah, it's comparable to something like that. Hull traverse, it does beat the Krupp, but overall though, mobility-wise, whilst the tanks that we're looking at here, yeah, it beats the Easy 4. Yeah, big fat Sherman, no surprise there. So yeah, whilst it can beat Shermans, it's not quite as mobile as something like the Type T-34 or indeed the normal T-34 or the Y5. Really mobile things. Out of most mediums that you'll look at, it's, yeah, pretty mobile. The Chinook-I as well, definitely not with that 11.6 horsepower per ton ratio. Yeah, that's really not helping it. But overall though, mobility on this thing is very, very good. Which means that you can easily, you know, get around the battlefield and just generally cause some havoc on people, because yeah, that armor profile combined with the pretty good mobility means that this becomes a very good tank. The gun is alright. It's not a fantastically amazing gun, but it's decent enough. It's basically a Panzer IV gun. It's a Kampfwagenkanone 40 L48, 75mm. 3.5 second aim time, which is pretty fast. Very good accuracy, 0.32. 1300 DPM with a 7.2 second reload time. 110 average pen with AP, 158 with APCR, 38 with HG. Standard 160, 140, 200 average damage. 8 degrees of gun depression, which is not quite the 10 average that we like to see. But overall, in comparison to something like a Panzer IV's gun, you know, there's the top gun on the, yeah, it's basically the same. It has better aim time than the Panzer IV, better accuracy, the same DPM, nearly the same reload time, and the same average pen and the same gun depression. So you're basically getting a slightly better Panzer IV gun. In comparison to something like this thing, the 5/4, it's got better dispersion, better aim time, not quite as good reload, but basically the same as everything else. Although this thing does get 2 extra degrees of gun depression, even though it's mounted weirdly on a Panther. There you go. But yeah, overall, this tank is very fun. It's a very fun tank. The mobility is good. The armor as well is surprisingly good for a medium at tier 5, and the gun as well is passable. It's not something as annoying to play as the Type, for example. Overall, yeah, overall very good medium. As for consumables, yeah, your standard repair, first aid, fire, you've got your adrenaline, you've got your engine power, and you've got your multi-purpose. It's all pretty much the same. As for provisions, you've got standard fuel for 3 and 10. Sorry, no, it's not standard and improved, it's just standard. Thanks, update 5.5. Yeah, 3% engine power and turret traverse with standard fuel. You've got a bar of chocolate for 3% crew mastery, and then you've got your protective kit, which is all that lot rolled into one. As for your ammo, you do carry 60 rounds of ammo. That's enough to get you through any battle pretty much. It's not something like a Valentine 2 where you're going to run out of ammo. Your reload time just won't allow you to fire off all of these shells even if you started firing from the very beginning of the match. So yeah, you can go ahead and mix and match those as you want. You're never going to run out or have to worry about how much APCR you loaded, for example. As for equipment, gun rammer, I mean, might as well. If a Panzer IV can get by with 110 mils of pen, so can you. So gun rammer is just better. You get an extra 5 mil of pen with calibrated shells, which just isn't worth the better reload time. The improved modules for the extra track durability, I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. You're a fast medium. Coated optics is going to be what you want to spot those tanks. Caminet, it can work as a TD, but you are a medium. You're one of the more mediums at this tier. You're a medium rather than a sniper medium, so coated optics is the better choice for pretty much both yourself and your team for doing team play. So coated optics, enhanced gun lane drive gets the aim time down to that 3.5 seconds along with stabs. Otherwise you'd be looking at about a 4-second aim time, which is not quite so good. So enhanced gun lane drive. You're going to want enhanced armor for the extra frontal hull and turret armor, because yeah, you've got very good frontal armor. So anything that will help that at tier 5, is always good. You might be tempted to go with improved assembly because you don't have the most HP. However, I just feel that the enhanced armor is going to be better for the buffs to your frontal armor, because you've just got very good frontal armor, like I keep saying, for a medium. So you might as well keep buffing that, see how far you can go with it. And then engine accelerator for the extra power to weight and the slightly better average speed, plus the extra engine power and a slightly better hull traverse. Vert stabs, you've got very good accuracy. That takes it down to 0.29, which is just overkill for a medium. So I'd say vert stabs for that firing on the move. You never know, one of those shots might clutch the game out. Enhanced tracks or toolbox, your choice really of those two, and then your choice of whatever the hell those two things are. So overall, the Krupp-38D, it's a very, very good medium tank. I do like it. If you can get a hold of it, I've missed out on it lots of times. When it came into the shop, I finally decided to go ahead and get it, and it came with all the equipment unlocked and this camo. Did it come with this camo actually? I don't know, it came with a camo I believe, but yeah. Overall though, a very good medium. If you can, get it, because it is one of the better mediums at tier 5, plus it's a premium vehicle, so you're going to get more credits and more XP from it. So it's a win-win. It's just overall a very good tank, so I'll thank you all for watching and goodbye.